Thank you. From our last meeting regarding health concerns of Wi-Fi exposure in our classrooms, I need to continue with some important information, and I thank the board for this opportunity. First and foremost, I wanted to make clear again, because it wasn't reported correctly, that non-ionizing radiation is what the World Health Organization labeled a Class 2B carcinogen, not exclusively to only cell phone radiation. There is no difference between the radiation of Wi-Fi and cell phones. Only the usage differs, with cell phones and towers being regulated at the federal level. Wi-Fi is a completely intrastate device and is not governed by FCC guidelines. Otherwise, the radiation spectrum is identical to cell phone radiation. Here's how the dangers of exposure are related. Wi-Fi works as a two-way transmission in tandem with wireless devices. This two-way Wi-Fi transmission means that when the children have devices like iPads or other tablets on their laps or near their bodies, the device itself radiates its own signal back to the antenna the same way a cell phone radiates its signals back to an antenna or a tower. But instead of conversation-length radiation directed at their heads, children will have, for 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, a constant source of pulsed radiation directed toward their bodies. And the antenna their devices are radiating out toward is on their ceilings instead of a tower off in the distance. This is why iPads and iPhone manuals are instructing people to hold their devices away from their bodies and heads, because the close exposure and proximity is dangerous, and it proves there is a growing concern about liability. Next, I want to address Dr. Sheehan's notice during the last meeting that the FCC was reevaluating exposure limits to RF. If the FCC is reassessing its RF safety guidelines due to evidence and international awareness that their current safety standards are obsolete or under question, does it not make sense to you all that schools stop the use of Wi-Fi in the interim in case the FCC returns with guidelines showing the current levels of RF are unhealthy? We predict that they won't, of course, because it's important to understand that the FCC is not a health organization dedicated to the health of our children. The FCC's priorities are to ensure a framework for the unfolding of the communications revolution. That's from their own website. I personally couldn't think of a bigger conflict of interest in getting our marching orders about what's healthy for our children from a federal communications organization dedicated to serving a multi-trillion-dollar wireless telecommunications industry. In my child's classroom, there have been nosebleeds from various children in close proximity to the ceiling-mounted routers. These nosebleeds have alarmed their teacher. Nosebleeds are a common symptom of non-ionizing radiation exposure. Nurses will be contacted throughout the district to address these symptoms as possibly resultant from wireless routers. In regards to the Princeton study you keep referring to, with all due respect, it is pointless. Not only in light of their links taking you to pro-microwave magazine articles promoting electronic pills, but their studies revert back to the obsolete safety guidelines set forth by the FCC. The FCC never conducted safety tests for children, only for 200-pound men who were soldiers in the military. So the Princeton studies on Wi-Fi will become relevant only when they can produce studies directly related to the health of children, not college-age adults. They'll never be able to do that because there is no recorded or researched safe level of microwave radiation exposure for children. It doesn't exist, and it is against the law to experiment on children without the consent of their parents. Therefore, a moratorium against Wi-Fi needs to be instated and an injunctive removal enacted until otherwise verified. I've proven to you that you have plenty of information at your disposal, demonstrating the need for precaution around non-ionizing radiation-emitting devices such as Wi-Fi routers and their transmitting tools. Lastly, I will be emailing you all statements of accountability to sign and return to me by our next meeting. If you actively deny the existence of possible harm from Wi-Fi, that means you're confident in Wi-Fi safety. So, signing these statements is the least you can do if you continue to deny parents their right to make choices for their children's safety while attending school. I've also provided documents for your record to assist you in this decision, and some for the second time, including the newly submitted Trial Lawyers Association objections to the FCC about radiation exposure to children. Thank you.
So someone local contacted me about my products because he wanted them now. We met up, hung out, and started talking about truther stuff. We met up after hanging out a few times after he had a chance to buy my products and use them, and we were just hanging out on 420 doing what everybody does in 420. When we were hanging out, he brought up the fact that somebody was calling a couple of the products that I offer to people a scam. So instead of commenting back and starting a war, he said he wanted to do a video testimony right here, right now. So sit back, take a second, and check out Mark Vian's testimony on Green Mountain Greenery's products and on the Quantame clothing, the Kofifi cap. You've been following me for a while. You trust me. You trust my products. You have to try them.
Yep.
What do you think of the hat? Is it bullshit? Is it changing anything for you?
No bullshit.
So what's it doing for you?
I was getting headaches every day. Something outside was affecting me. Brain confusion, brain fog. When that would happen, I'd get angry really fast. Headaches every day.
So irritability, headaches.
Yeah.
And we can't figure it out with the knowledge they give us. It's not making sense.
No. So I threw this hat on, and it's been about a week now. I wear it every day, and then when I go to bed, I take it off, and then when I wake up, I put it on. I have not had a headache in a week now. The whole time I've wore this hat. No brain confusion, no brain fog.
I didn't even know it was going to help you with focus. Now I'm turned on to the focus part. Now I want to wear it more.
Yeah. What really got me sold on it was the EMF readings. Like what GK did with the modem on Disclosure Hub this morning. I've witnessed that with my own eyes. That's what sold me on the hat. Turned around and bought 2 more. One for my son and one for my girlfriend. Because my son complains about headaches every day coming home from school. And I'm trying to figure out the homeschool thing. But I feel like the Wi-Fi, especially at school, plays a big factor with his headaches. So he agreed to wear the hat, and he hasn't had headaches just like me. That was my main focus, is my kid. He's in pain every day because of a headache. I also told him, you never know, you could unlock a superhero power that no one knew you had and you never knew you had. It's enlightenment. I take the CBD.
You took that this morning?
Yep, and the pine needle serum every day. I was having shoulder problems where I was thinking that something was coming on where I might have to have surgery, and I don't trust the hospitals, I don't trust doctors, I do not want to go. Movement was painful, and I could say I can lift my arm straight up with no problem, where before taking this stuff it hurt just to get it to here, and I can do anything with it with no pain, nothing. And the only thing I've changed is wearing this hat and taking the CBD tincture and super serum cheeky tincture. That's the only changes. I can't say that that's not what it is, because that's, like I said, that's the only changes I've made.
So your girlfriend, she took the medicinal methysticum, which is the kava kava, which helps with sleep and anxiety, because you said she couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Have you noticed the difference? What was she doing before? Why did she want to take it? And after she took it, did it do anything?
She couldn't sleep at all. She'd wake up 3, 4, 5 times on any given night. Always complain the next day about being super tired. Past week, because I bought some of that for her, she's been taking that. I know when she gets up, because she wakes me up every time she gets out of bed, because the bed shakes, you know? Right. I haven't been woken up in a week now. I can tell the next day she's not tired. The energy from these tinctures. I run my own business. I run a construction business. I run my business. I do the work. I do everything for this business. By the end of the day, I'm drained, and I have to go home and make dinner. Taking these, that energy's not depleted. 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I got energy to go for the rest of the day. Miracle tincture. No one's twisting my arm to do any of this. I'm doing this from my heart because I feel that there's plenty of people out there that need something like this. My girlfriend's mom has Alzheimer's, and she's in stage 4. The health benefits just with the MCT oil speaks for itself. It makes it even better to hear that MCT oil alone restores cognitive thinking or the cognitive function in an individual that has Alzheimer's or dementia, a disease like that. That's what I'm trying to see. I want to see what it can do for her, even if it brings her back to where she's coherent and not sleeping all day. Natural products, and that's my next step with it.
So the big reason why you're doing this interview is because that dude commented on the last video that I did of the EMF and said it's a scam. So what do you have to say? Look at him here and tell him what in your opinion, when he's saying it's a scam, respond to him here with your voice.
It's no scam. I mean, maybe you got scammed with a fake hat you bought from someone else, but I can say I see it with my own eyes. You don't have one, so you don't know the changes that it has made on me because you haven't experienced it. I have. GK is onto something, and that's all there is to it. But I know what it's done for me, and it's changed my life so far. Well,
and in my opinion, I don't think you would have wasted all the money on these expensive hats, buying 3 of them, if they didn't do anything.
No, and not only that, like I've spent, about $1,000?
Right.
Because I know these are the only changes I've made in my life as of late, and I'm seeing crazy things, crazy changes.
And it's crazy because it's really the only real protection you can get for you and your family.
Yeah.
Everything else is bullshit. Everything else is a true scam.
Yeah.
This is not a scam.
No scam at all.
And the money supports, what does it support?
The Patriot Movement.
You're looking at me, what do? What does my entire life revolve around?
The Truth Movement.
That's all I do, right?
And GK is trying to change the world, and I will say, he's onto something. I feel changes in a week. I can't wait to see what happens in a year. Do construction. Anybody that's out there that does hard labor, your joints hurt. I don't care who you are, your joints hurt. You know, my knees are popping every time I would step. I can say there's no joint discomfort. Feel like a new man. I'm 40, gonna be 41. I'm excited to be alive right now. Definitely will change your life.
If I was sitting in their shoes, I'd be like, he's paying him to say this shit. But I don't know what anybody could say.
Bottom line, you gotta try it.
You know you're over the target when they shut down your card sales. You know what I mean? And they won't let me get back up until I pay 15%. So I'm gonna get back up. It's gonna be 15%, but I'm gonna have to split the cost with my customers or something.
And I'm not gonna lie, I am glad that GK is right from the town that I'm from, because I didn't have to wait. I wanted it right then. I wanted to experience these changes right then. Things were getting crazy. Life sucked. My head was spinning. End of the day sucked when I wanted to be with my son, and I couldn't enjoy those times. These tinctures created balance. Bodies, mind, and soul. And I don't care what anybody has to say. And these help put that guard up. Build that protection.
This was a 100% genuine conversation between me and someone I just met through this movement, through my products. We're now really good friends and we hang out often. I'm glad I met him. If you want to hear more testimonies about how our products work, and if you want to look into more about how you can get them, please check out our sites, vtvault.org/shop and also vtvault.org/quantame. That's QUANTAME, and that's taming the quantum. And we're all about infusing nature and keeping nature with nature. So please, if you have any questions, feel free to contact Green Mountain Greenery. Thanks so much. This has been GK with the Disclosure Hub.